Yes, I bought my books. Deal with it. If anything, it gets you extra reading content, so be happy. 2022, a judgment-free zone. If you couldn't tell by the big stack of books next to me, I did some damage during the holiday season. Is it entirely my fault? No. We can also blame my family and friends for loving me and cherishing me with gifts. Thank you. I'm very much appreciative. But I also did some personal damage that is totally my fault, and it's okay. I'm crazy. It's fine. Nevertheless, let's get into all the books that I recently acquired for the holiday season. I'm really excited for a lot of these books. It's gonna be a great reading year. I feel it. First here is a nerdy purchase. I've been really getting into sci-fi, and I saw this adorable copy of the first trilogy of the Star Wars books, you know, like Empire Strikes Back and all of those, and the first one is written by George Lucas himself. I read the first chapter of his story, and I really enjoyed it. It was so fun. The way they're talking about Palpatine and how Anakin, you know, did what he did. The first sentence is, "It was a vast shining globe, and it cast a light of lambent topaz into space, but it was not a sun." Is it the Death Star? Should we be scared? I'm scared. But look how I'm vibing with this color scheme. Next, I went to a like a not Dollar Tree, what's it called? Like a book off where you can get discounted books, and I found The Count of Monte Cristo for really cheap. It was like $2, and it was a pretty good like condition, and this is one of those classics that I really want to read. It's a behemoth, so definitely don't know when I'll tackle it, but I'm very excited to read it. I do really like the movie, so I have a feeling that this is just going to be one of those books where I just really fall into like the audiobook and reading it together. Now I have to find the first page, which is always an issue with these old classics because their intros are like a bazillion years long. Chapter 1. On the 24th of February, 1815, the watchtower of Notre Dame signaled the arrival of the three master something in French from something else in Naples. I know, Naples. And that's why I'm excited to read classics more so with audiobooks, because then you can actually hear the different qualities to the language that would escape me, as I am a terrible reader with my dyslexia. But I still want to engage and love these stories as much as everyone else, okay? These next two books I kind of bought on a whim, which might have been a mistake, but you know what? I'm excited to finally finish this series. I have so many books where I've read the first in a series and then just abandoned it completely. I want to fix it. There was a book that I got, Red Rising, and I really enjoyed it. An adult sci-fi, really cool. I love the hierarchy of the world. So during Barnes & Noble's half-off sale, I did purchase Morning Star and Golden Sun. But I'm really hyped to finally finish this trilogy. I really loved it. Can't wait to continue the story. And the sentence in the second book, just chef's kiss. I can't read it because it's really a blatant spoiler for book 1. Continuing on with books that I purchased during the half-off sale at Barnes & Noble's because your girl was excited. Yeah, that's what happens when I'm on vacation and I got Christmas money. I go ham. It happens. I'm allowing myself that liberty, and then the rest of the year I'm just gonna focus on reading these. What I'm most excited for is Skin of the Sea. I've heard nothing but great things about this kind of mermaid story, a Little Mermaid reimagining. This story is about mermaids who save the souls of like lost sailors and things like that, but during the transatlantic slave trade, this mermaid breaks the rules and saves a slave who was tossed overboard, and she has to rectify or like face the consequences of breaking the rules because they're just supposed to save their souls, not their life. We will see. And the first sentence is, I circle the ship with the sharks, slipping between dark waves. She's swimming around with sharks. Who does she think she is? Next on the half-off sale, I have The Inheritance. It is about a girl who's inheriting something from her, I think her abuela technically, family member of sorts, who's kind of over dramatic, but there's also magic. There's a little sprinkle of magical realism. The first chapter is called Invitation to Witness a Death. Drama. And the first page is the invitation. You are invited to my home May 14th, the year of the hummingbird. Please begin to arrive no earlier than 1:04 p.m. as I have many matters to settle for the event. The stars have shifted, the earth has turned, my time is here, I am dying. Come to collect your inheritance. The drama. More purchases from my craze at Barnes & Nobles. I found this space opera just staring at me, being like, and it was calling out to my soul. So I read the first few pages, I really enjoyed the writing style, and I picked it up. Do I understand what this is about at all? No. What would be the fun of that? It's a space opera. There's a bunch of LGBTQ plus characters. Yep, Rosie, wannabe criminal, some ex-marine, but a bunch of stuff. Wayward assassins. The first sentence is, the clatter of heavy-powered assisted armor echoed off the rocky hills of the corporation mercenaries lined up behind some dude's latest representative. I'm terrible with names. That's why I also love audiobooks. They help me figure out what the F, how am I supposed to say this name? Because I don't do basic names either. More than 4 letters, I can't handle. This purchase I actually got from that kind of book off dollar store thing. Whatever. It is Ebony of Wings of Ebony. My brain just went and flipped that completely. Wings of Ebony. I'm very excited for this. I've heard nothing but good things. The second book is coming out very soon, so I definitely want to check this out. I've been seeing tweets about it. I'm just here for it. I like going into books not knowing much about them. Do I regret that? Just a smidge. But it also, I live on the edge. I'm living an exciting life. The first sentence is, bullets don't have names. Well, duh. Unless you want to name the bullet. That'd be kind of creepy. The last few things that I purchased for funsies are these 2 books, and then the stack here are all books that were kindly gifted to me. The first being 5 Dark Fates. So this is the last installment of the 3 Dark Crowns series. This is one of those series that really got me into reading back in the day. I want to say just like 3 years ago when I was struggling to read 12 books in a year. It was one of those series that I really enjoyed. I stopped after the 3rd book. I have the 3rd book and I never finished it, so I would really love to finish it. I also have the novella. I thoroughly enjoyed this series, so again, series that I need to finish. So I'm hoping this year I can kind of reread all of them and get the full conclusion and just finish the series, and I'm so excited. I can't read you the first sentence of this because it is the last in the series, but this is a story about 3 sisters who are born on this island, and in this island typically the princess who is born has to kill their sisters so that way they can become queen. And it's traditionally, yeah, there's 3 of them and they each hold a different magical power, and they use that to their ability to kill off their sisters. This group of sisters, there's confliction. There's some who want to kill each other, there's some who don't want to kill each other. It's great. Next, this book is so stunning. It is Descendants of the First. So this is the sequel to Daughters of Neri, which I read for the Brown Girl Book Club. I want to say not last year, but possibly the year before that, in 2020. I think it was 2020 when it came out, and I really enjoyed it. So this is one of the series that I think I want to try and tackle during Blackathon this year in February. I have so many duologies with like War Girls and A River of Royal Blood and Descendants of the First. There's so many that I need to tackle, so I'm very excited to finally tackle this book. I really enjoyed the first one. I think I gave the first one a 3.5 star or a 4 star, so excited for that. I don't recall the exact story. I don't even remember what the story's about too much, besides the fact that their sisters separated at birth. They have a magical connection. They need to save the kingdom. It's basically what I remember. So many of the details have faded away. It's been like 2 years. It's been a long time. But I'm ready to finish that duology. Now getting into everything that was kindly sent to me. Or like gifted, because my mom was like, you're a booktuber, you're gonna want this. Which is a really cool YA series. It is Shadow Shaper, but I have had it on my list of wanting to read when it came to series. I have a ongoing list of just series that I want to finish. So many. Like there's like probably over 50. And this is one of them. I'm very excited to dive into it. I have already listened to part of the first book. The audiobook sounds so great. It gives me Elizabeth Acevedo vibes. The writing a little bit, where it's really fun and kind of like authentic language, if you know what I mean. The first sentence is, Sierra, what are you staring at? And this first page is freaky because she's staring at a mural that's like crying. Why the F is it crying? It was a very interesting introduction to a series. What I grasped is that this story is about a girl who is, you know, your average Joe. She likes painting, yada yada. Finds out she's a shadow shaper. It's a mystical, like magical form of art. I have no idea what it is, but it's a thing. But it's not like mainstream. Everyone doesn't know about it. It's a hidden skill magic set, and someone is actively killing shadow shapers. So obviously our main character, who learns and discovers her new magical ability, is now in danger. And I think a lovely boy comes to help her out. That is the gist. It just seems like a fun time. Next, we have a book I stole from my mommy. Thanks, Mom. Don't Ask Me Where I'm From is a YA book that I've had on my radar for a really long time. I always get asked where I'm from, and when I say, oh, I'm from Hawaii, they're like, oh, wait, are you Hawaiian? And then I'm like, no, I was born in Miami. I'm not actually Hawaiian. I just grew up in Hawaii. And then they're like, oh, but like, then where... like, what are you? And then I'm like, I'm black and I'm Cuban, and they're like, wow. It's always such a fun conversation to have with strangers, so I definitely feel like this I might connect with. The first sentence is, picture it, me in the middle of making proud choices class. That's sex ed for anyone not born in this century. The writing style just seems really fun, so I'm hoping to enjoy it. The next book, oh, I'm so excited because I am in the middle of reading it, and that is The Kindred by Alicia Doe. I read her debut novel, and that was also a Brown Girl Book Club pick. So enjoyable. Sci-fi with the softest, cutest romance, but also like the world's being like taken over by like an AI robot destructive thing. So hard to explain sci-fi sometimes. I'm like, I have a picture in my head. How do I tell you about it? This book is about a different universe basically, and in this universe, to solve class issues, they connected the brains of those who are impoverished with royalty, so that way everyone felt that their voice was heard. Some people think it was a good solution, some people don't. Political intrigue. And our two main characters, one is the Duke, who lives lavishly, has a band, doesn't have too many consequences or things like that in his life. And the girl is a beautiful plus-sized woman who is just trying to survive and may have to marry someone she does not love for money. It's a great story. I'm 80 pages in, and your girl is craving the love and romance. This is definitely a love story, first and foremost. Super sci-fi, super also queer, and has great representation. First and foremost is romance, and by page like 40 I'm over here like, I need them to be in the same room. Perfect tension. First sentence is, Felix, one of the perspectives. Looking this pretty takes time, does it now? Okay, sir. This next book, oh, it got sent to me in the mail and I'm so excited. So I recently read Akata Witch, which is a series I have been hyped for so long, and I got Akata Warrior very recently, I think in my last book haul. Excited to continue on the series, and the third installment of the series, I think it's going to be a trilogy, comes out January 18th, so mark your calendars if you're a fan of this series. I definitely am. So excited for this magical world. That is the one selling point for Nnedi Okorafor, is their world building is superb. Like, this magical world is, one, so hard to grasp, but also so fun to learn about. I enjoy it immensely. So it's kind of like an urban fantasy where there's a subgroup of people who have magical abilities but try and hide it. And it's also centered around Africa and not, you know, the Western world, which is very exciting. So highly recommend. Can't read the first sentence again. It's the last book in a series, which I think is pretty good. I've been pretty good in this book haul not to buy too many books that are starting a new series. I say that now, but I think I had like 3 or 4. I think a good amount of these purchases are a continuation of series I've already started, so I'm proud of myself. Let me have this one thing, okay? This next thing is a poetry book, which is so cute. Corazon, love. I am very excited for this because I was flipping through it and its poems are just really nice. I really like poetry books that incite a feeling. Like, I feel like a lot of contemporary poetry is very just straight to the point, blunt. I like poetry that gives you a feeling, a mood, like a picture in your head, all of that. And I figured I would read a poem for you. So this poem is called Asking. I want to love so bad. I chew on it in my sleep, brush it against my gums. Have you seen my quick smile? This question laid across my face, asking, is it you? Is it finally here? I say I want love, but I know it's not true. When it comes, what will I do? With this habit of asking for what I do not know how to keep. Beautiful. This last stack is so exciting. Okay, I, again, really want to get into reading more series and getting into more of those classic booktube stories that people talk about and love. And I finally got the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. Thank you to Alana. I will link her book channel, her booktube below if you want to check her out. She's an awesome, amazing friend of mine. And I've already read the first book. I've already given it 5 stars. And I am already working my way through the second book. It's a good time. I love Laini Taylor. She's just so whimsical and amazing. Basically, it is a story. How do I not spoil anything? It's a story about our world, and there are demons and angels, and they've been fighting a really long war. They don't even remember the beginning of it. They kind of feel like they're just fated to be fighting forever, and they're trying to win. And there's a girl stuck in the middle of this where she lives with the demons, grew up with them, and understands that they have humanity. Even though they're not humans, they have that sense of love and compassion for each other, even if they're on the other side of this war. And this girl may have some interest in an angel that causes problems. The first sentence is, walking to school over the snow-muffled cobbles, Karu had no sinister premonitions about the day. Good for her. Probably a rare thing for her. Those are all the books that I managed to buy during the holiday break, which is, I know, a lot. I love book buying, what can I say? I'm not going to apologize for it. But at the same time, I know I'm actively going to be creating a book buying band rule, like set of rules that hopefully I'll actually follow. And secondly, I will actively be trying to read them all. That's my goal for this year, is to read 100 of my own physical books. Whew. We'll see if I can do it. I'm making a whole video about the challenge, so yeah. If you made it to the end of this video, leave down below this emoji so I know you are the real MVP. And I hope you enjoyed this video. It gave you a little bit more sunshine, and I will see you in the next one. If you're still watching this, first of all, shout out to my Patreons. Woo woo. I have a goal of trying to reach 30 Patreons, so go check out the link below if you want extra videos, bonus content, and pictures. Like, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. It costs money, but like, if you want to support your girl, go ahead, check it out. And I also have a playlist of all my book hauls if you'd like to watch those, or another playlist you might like is my reading 30 books in 30 days challenge. So definitely check that out. I'll link it down below as well.